Hi, welcome to Success Tips. This is where we come in every other week here on Destiny Global Facebook page and on other social media to be able to tell you some success tips because we so want you to be successful. We here at Destiny Global want you right here who's watching this to be successful. We believe in you and we want you to have these success tips for free. Just come on here every other week and you can see a success tip. And this week, I'm here to share with something that we all have heard about. First of all, who am I? I'm Dr. April Brown. I'm Executive Vice President of Coaching here at Destiny Global. And I love this topic because it's so simple. It's something we all know about, something we all have heard about, but yet we don't always practice it. Or if you really get down into it, like you'll understand a little bit more about what we think might be surface, but really deep down, we probably do not practice this in a real way. And this one thing, just this one thing, will actually increase your health. Anybody want to increase their health? Anybody want to increase their productivity? How about that? You want to increase your productivity? You want more We've got people raising their hand. Like Chris is raising his hand. He's like, yes, I'm raising my hand. I want to be more productive. You want to build better relationships? You want promotions? Do you want did I say health? Like better health? Like what? Don't we want these things? Do you want to actually increase your happiness? This is statistically proven, actually. Harvard studies, there are books written on this. I have a book where I was like reading and hearing all the statistics for what is actually has been studied for how this can increase all of these things that I just mentioned. So, you want to know? It's actually we even make a holiday around this. And we practice it, and we think about it. But what about really the depth of it? And how do we get it in us and not just an action? Because, like I said, there's a holiday around it. Anybody? Can you guess? Put down in the comment if you think you know what I'm talking about. There's a whole holiday around this. The one thing that we're to practice. And it's in this month. If you're watching this, it's in the month of November. So anybody guessed? You probably know what it is. It's Thanksgiving, right? Thankfulness. But I'm going to go a little bit deeper because we're really not talking about, because we put those two things together, and thankfulness is actually an action. So when we're thankful, we're going to say thank you, right? We're going to have a words of thankfulness, and we're going to say thank you. Well, what is it really? Our attitude. And so the word gratitude is actually an attitude of gratitude. So it's what's inside of us. It's a trait that we have. Have you ever been around someone who is so grateful? Don't you love doing things for them because they're so excited at anything, and it's like newness, especially if you take them to somewhere they've never been before. And they're just so grateful. I have someone in my life who is just so grateful at everything she says. Like she's just like a kid in a candy store. Everywhere we go, she's just so excited. Oh my gosh, this is so great. Like it's amazing to take people who have this attitude, a trait of gratitude. You want to be around them. You want to, it's infectious too. When you get around them, you're more grateful. And it's so fun and exciting to go places with them and to experience things with them, especially like I said, when they're doing it for the first time because they've never had that experience before, and just inside of them it bubbles up and they're just like so excited and so grateful, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I'm so grateful. I appreciate this so much. Like you would consider me, you would think of me. Like they just go on, and you know it's from the heart. It's like from the depth of gratitude, of understanding the time. Like they're literally like they understand the time that you put into something, or what that took, or the money that you paid for something, or the thought that you put into that, and they're so grateful for it. That's a trait. It's a trait. It's not just words. It's not just an action that you do. It's who you are. It's what it becomes inside of you, of like a whole attitude or a characteristic of who you are. And so there's something different about really just being thankful and kind of having a holiday, Thanksgiving, where maybe you even have a tradition. We have a tradition at our house where we go around the table and we say like what we're thankful for. And that's awesome. And it's important. And we have that one day, right? But what about the rest of them? What about the 364 days? That's not Thanksgiving. Like, how do we foster that in us where we're just so grateful for everything we've been given? Listen, we often have so much going on in negativity, and we affect each other. So when we may have a bad day and somebody, cut us off in traffic, or we like maybe we're so grateful we wake up with this with Thanksgiving, and we're like saying things we're thankful for or having that mindset. But then we start like driving in the car and like somebody cuts us off, and then we go to our favorite little coffee place, and normally the girl is like so happy and chipper, but this day, like, maybe she's not. And so we start getting little like edges to us throughout the day because of other people's interaction. But when you have like this attitude of gratitude, because that was literally like you did an action that morning, but what about an attitude of gratitude, and how do you really get an attitude of gratitude? It's first understanding that it's a trait. It's not just an action. It's about who we become and how we even experience the world. And maybe that day you actually went to the coffee shop and you had a great day, and you go to the coffee shop and the lady gives you the wrong order. Okay, like she gives you the wrong order, and you're like, this is wrong. You got my order wrong, and you feel like you paid for something and you should get the right order. I'm not saying like you should not get the right order, but what if you stopped and you thought about that you get to get coffee? You have a job that allows you to actually go in there and afford to get coffee. And you came with that attitude. You came with that attitude of gratitude. Wow. And I get to even get coffee. And you express that in a way of like, thank you so much for making this. I did say this instead of that. Is there any way that you could make the correct order that I asked for? And I really appreciate it. It's different than just lashing out, because we fostered this attitude of gratitude. And this is something we all can work on, because I know that I need to work on this. I just had something yesterday that I had to process and think about, like how I'm going to come about this and foster this attitude of gratitude that I get to do this. I get to have the job that I have. I get to work with the people that I get to work with. And I'm continually fostering this and seeking to foster this attitude instead of just an action. Once in the morning, I was just like, thankfulness. How to foster a whole attitude of gratitude. We actually have our staff, we take them to victory dinner after every event. And we've kind of really developed this thing because we're so appreciative of our staff, and we want to show them that we're so grateful, because we know events are packed with so much going on, and we want to take that time and take everyone, and we go to a special dinner or find a special place and make sure that everyone feels so welcome and so appreciated. And that is our heart, is to make sure that our staff is appreciated. We go around and we express to each one individually of what they have done over the weekend or what they do in general. That is just such a important part of the team, and what we saw in them that weekend, what we really appreciate. And we really seek to make sure that people know that they're appreciated, and they're always like so excited to know where we're going, and thinking and so grateful. And that just makes us excited to do that, right? Again, because when you see that gratitude with anything, when you give a gift and someone says, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." There's some people that like, "Oh my gosh, look at this bag." Like, even from the bag, like, "This is a beautiful bag. Like, I love the bag and I love the paper and I love," like, they're just so grateful, and they know that that was a thoughtfulness towards them. And then there's some people that like, "Oh, thanks." Like, and they know, like, and you're going, like, nothing. Like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Like, does that make you really want to, like, excited to give them something in the future? So it's really about being grateful and knowing that people who take time and think of you to go get you something, to have that attitude of gratitude. There used to be a thing where, like, literally anytime that anybody did anything, you would write them a letter to thank them, or send them a card to thank them. And I think we've kind of lost that a little bit. We still do it on special occasions, maybe at weddings and at graduations. But what about anytime? Like, anytime that anybody gives you anything and you're just like so grateful and you express that gratitude and cultivate that attitude of gratitude. I'm going to give y'all, I just told you about all these statistics. I'm going to give y'all some. I got to get my glasses, because I told you, and you're like, maybe you're not believing me. Okay, maybe you're like, that's too simple, April. That's too simple. Well, there are studies on this that it improves decision-making skills. Anybody want to improve decision-making skills? And this has been seen. I mean, I have seen this before, where somebody is like in a frenzy, okay? And here's the point of this. And actually, I'm going to read from this book. It's called Unoffendable. Just read this the other day. Okay. This part. There's a lot about this. Is very simple, but there's a lot of parts in this that are just like processing how to actually not be offended by things in life. Anyway, but this one statement really says what, so we can know better about these statistics and why these statistics are so important. And this really hit me, that we are fallen, that we are not perfect, and people around us are not perfect, and we expect them to be. And when we recognize that our unsurprising fallenness, when we recognize our unsurprising fallenness and keep our eyes joyfully open for the glorious exceptions, we're much less offendable. Why? Because that's the thing about gratitude and anger. They can't coexist. It's one or the other. I've often heard fear, and actually love and fear there's polar opposites emotion. I've never thought of anger being the polar opposite of gratitude. It's one or the other. You can't have them coexist. And one drains the very life from you. The other fills your life with wonder. Choose wisely. So as we think about anger, and whether it's anger or gratitude. And think about that scenario that I just gave to you. If you go into and you automatically are so emotionally charged by not getting the order right. Have you ever not had done an order right? Have you personally ever made a mistake and needed grace? We have to understand that do unto others how you want to be treated. When we want grace, we have to give grace. We have to extend grace. And she might be new on the job. You just don't know anybody's story. You don't know what's going on. And so when we respond in anger, like, you got my order wrong, that is the opposite of gratitude. That those two cannot coexist. So when you stop, and you have to stop yourself and say, what do I need to be grateful for in this moment? And that is, I can afford to come get a coffee. And yes, I want my order right. But I don't have to get angry about it. I can be grateful in this moment to be able to have a positive interaction, because I'm sure that those coffee ladies, people, baristas, they get it all day long of different orders, getting their name wrong. Have they ever gotten your name wrong? Like, what? How did you get that name out of this? And we can get that, right? Because we're like, it doesn't make us feel special and important, so we get all worked up. Listen, we're strangers to them. They don't know our name. So they misheard it. Some people even have learning disorders or processing problems of, they might not need to be a barista. I get it. But we just need to be like understanding, because actually the root word of gratitude is grace, the Latin word gratia, which is grace. I was trying to say gratitude and grace together. Grace and graciousness. That's where it comes from. Grace and graciousness. So if we don't have grace, we want grace, but if we don't have grace, then we can know we don't have an attitude of gratitude. When our first inclination is to get angry and to get upset, then we can know, we can do a check in our spirit that we are not practicing or experiencing or practicing to get an attitude of gratitude, to really make it a trait of ours to be grateful, is to stop in those moments when we might be getting angry to say, where do I need to show grace here? And graciousness, because I want grace and I want graciousness when I mess up, that I extend it to others, and I have the attitude of wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, that I am so grateful for the experiences that I get to have. Okay, I do want to finish up here. Okay, it improves decision-making skills. I already said that. We want that, right? Reduces common health complaints like digestion issues, headaches, and sleep problems. Increases productivity in the workplace when you have an environment of gratitude, and you have that, and you also have employees and a boss that has an attitude of gratitude. It increases productivity in the workplace by 53%. It increases employees to stay. If you have a lot of turnover, then that can be not having an attitude of gratitude. It increases the stay of employees in the workplace by 81%. It reduces depression. And this is, we feel more positive emotions, and so that reduces depression. We relish good experiences. We cherish them. We don't just fly by them and just like, we experience it and gone. We improve health. We improve our ability to deal with adversity, and we build strong relationships by being grateful and having a whole attitude of gratitude. So I want us to really work on that. And like, if you want to have all of those things I just talked to you about, then really work on this attitude. And guess what? There's good news. There's good news because we're actually having a 5-day challenge. We did a 10-day capacity challenge and we had people increasing their capacity. That was life transforming. Their words, not mine. Like transformational. Their capacity grew and increased. And this time we're having a attitude of gratitude challenge 5 days. The last one was 10 days. And this is basically where we do a free life map drop. And that is, life map is our subscription, but you get 5 free content days of life map drop where every day you press play of this content that I will be giving you. You like what you just heard today? We're going to go deeper. We're going to go deeper for 5 days, how to develop this attitude of gratitude. Okay, like really develop it, where you will increase your productivity, where you will increase your health, where you will reduce depression, where you will build strong relationships by practicing for 5 days, pressing play every day. And there will be questions, and there's a group that we have. It's a Life Map to Success Facebook group that you can get in. If you click on the link below to get signed up, you will get all of that information, how to get in to the Facebook group, how to get your link to Life Map for free 5-day content. And those who actually do sign up with Life Map throughout this 5-day, anytime within that 5-day or even after, will get a free PDF that will go through, it will have sayings of gratitude, exercises, the questions that we will give you for a whole month. Okay, for a whole month, for 30 days. We will have that for you if you were to sign up in Life Map. And those who are Life Map subscribers will get that. We're so excited about this 5-day attitude of gratitude challenge. Will you join us? Are you going to join us? Click on the link below, get signed up, because we would love to have you join us where we can all cultivate and change how we are dealing in our workplace, how we're dealing in relationships, how we're all showing up when we cultivate an attitude of gratitude and that grace and graciousness for 5 days. I promise you, just like the capacity challenge, it is going to be transformational. It is going to give you just a little taste of what you got today to go through the 5-day capacity challenge. You'll get all your information. If you click the link below, get signed up. And I'm so glad to have you here for this success tips in this month of November. It was intentional to make sure that we're not just having one day, but how do we cultivate that throughout the whole year of an attitude of gratitude. Thanks for joining. See y'all next time for Success Tips.